Looks like we might have to do another show.
Broadcast fun.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I had to stop listening at about an hour because she was yapping so much.
Yeah,
Talking
really
Candace
more like an
Owens.
interrogation.
She was coming after. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what her problem is.
I didn't know Sam Hyde show had like a wardrobe section, because there's no way Nick Fuentes owns that jacket. I could see Sam Hyde being like, well, let's do the show. And he's like, I'm here. And he has this like little, basic normie Little League coach shirts. And he's like, and Sam Hyde's like, wear this leather jacket. Wear this Eddie Murphy jacket. Or it's not happening. Squeal to Japanese cubicle can be Rasta call center. Rasta call center, you and Tony are just getting blazed. Yeah, Rasta call center trying to fix like really important insurance policies.
It's another narcissistic black woman, pretty typical.
Come on, Candace. What's going on over there, buddy? So what's going on in the world, man? What's new with you?
I mean, we got the war with Iran. We have the Epstein files.
I've heard from some pretty high-up sources that this might be million-dimensional chess. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, Trump has not lost cat turd yet, so I think there still might be a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is an epic crash out. I think it's over. This is Zognald Blumpf and the final stand. I'm afraid of what's going to happen next. I think he's going to turn the cannons on us now.
You think Trump's going to go after the alt-right?
I do.
Fuentes dresses like that because of Kanye. Is that true? Kanye was all, you guys gotta wear this jacket. I mean, did you see how Kanye informs his wife to dress like in public? I mean, woof.
I do. I think it's
It's not a good idea.
over. I think it's been over.
The entire world is sexually blackmailed by Mossad. Do mainstream people know this?
I think so. The name's Epstein, so it's kind of hard to ignore.
Regular people know about Epstein.
Well, it was absolutely blatant. He goes to jail for sex trafficking, dies mysteriously. The cameras were turned off. Nobody was there. I actually just discovered this last week.
I think sunglasses is the new one-eyed symbolism. I want a pair of sunglasses where this one's revealed, my eye, and this one's not. Just see how people, like, freak out.
Bill Barr was the attorney general when he killed himself. That means he was overseeing the federal prison that Epstein was detained in. Did you know that Bill Barr's father was the principal of the school that Jeffrey Epstein worked at in the 1970s?
Oh my God.
Jeffrey Epstein was hired by Bill Barr's dad at the Dalton School in 1974. And then his son, Bill Barr, oversaw the detention facility that he died at. So it's just beyond parody. And it became...
Meatball says, it's like, dude, okay, we get you don't take anything seriously. It's funny. I was actually telling, was it Tony I was talking to on the phone? On the phony? I'm trying to rhyme more because I want to also be a rapper. But that's true. I actually said the same thing, Meatball. I was like, like Andy Kaufman in his time. Oi! You couldn't tell if he's, it's like take the piss out of everything. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, there's an art to that for sure. There's a purpose and an art to that. There's a skill. There's a gift. Definitely. I can appreciate it. But sometimes I just want to know what someone really thinks and who they really are. And there's certain people I can't do it with. Not that I could, just from afar. But it's like Sam Hyde is one of those sort of enigmas. Somebody tell me, huh? Thank you, Clicker. Pirate Bob.
Became a meme. Epstein didn't kill himself.
Pirate Bob?
The meme should have been the Jews killed Epstein to keep him shut, because it's like, well, who killed him then? It just does a show you get one side or the other. If you get the left, you get George Soros. If you get the right, you get Jeff Epstein in Israel. So
It's nice how that story came full circle, though. It's a generational thing. We were talking about people in the CIA, some of them wanting to push war with China. Why would people want...
He looks like he'd own a railroad. Yeah, he looks like an oil tycoon. like he should be in a lot of vested suits. And he looks like he would execute someone in a really weird, obscure pistol. You know, like a bizarre revolver pistol. He would be a good villain. I don't know if he can act. I assume he can act because he does skits, but like seriously act? You know, where he actually takes some chops. I think he would make a decent villain.
Want this? Why is it like...
He'd also make a good, if he did a skit where he plays Henry Kissinger in a sort of biopic, but that's hilarious. So it's shot seriously, but it's retarded. I don't know. I'm going to do a spec script. I'm going to pitch it to him like we're in Hollywood. I'm going to just make constant posts. Sam Hyde, why didn't you read my spec script about you being Henry Kissinger? What do you know about Americhunk? Are you in on it? Are you the one? We don't know, but we don't know.
like a thing that anybody would push for?
You have three real countries in the Middle East. You have Turkey, Egypt, and Iran. Everything else is basically a construct. Everything else is fake. Egypt and Turkey have been pro-Israel for 50 and 80 years each. Iran's the only major country that still opposes them in the region. So the Jews want a war with Iran because that's basically the last opponent. China, for obvious reasons.
That sounds kind of badass.
It is.
I got chills when you said they're the last opponent. Made me think I was watching some badass action movie.
So that's why they want a war with Iran. They want a war with China. Elements in the U.S. want that because they're going to be the next great.
See, I want Tucky to get in on this. And he's at the point where he's accessible enough to sit down in this weird, dilapidated, converted crack house that is his studio here. Those steps in the background? What is going on? I wish I had that location. What is it? This is Detroit, right? Anyway, can you imagine little Tucky coming in? All dressed up with his iron shirts, sitting down with Sam Hyde in this warehouse. I think it's next up on the menu for sure. Within 5 weeks, tops.
Competitor. They're going to be the next great power.
Nick and Tucker can't be in the same room. Not Nick and Tucker. Tucky and Sam Hyde.
Competitor, but I don't mind them actually. I think the Chinese are all right.
I'm just thinking, what would you need? Would you need to go to war with somebody if they're going to be a competitor?
No, not necessarily.
Does it necessitate
Tuckums
bombing and going to war? I'm just thinking what many great leaders have thought for thousands of years, Ryan.
Connecticut? Really? Is it in Connecticut? Dude, Connecticut is I think Connecticut is a well, all states are fabricated, but I mean like it's a project. I think Connecticut is a project. Like an actual geographically confined run thing. You could live there. You're allowed to live there, of course, but you're a part of a project.
When are you not thinking like many great leaders throughout the...
Indeed. Anyway.
That's funny.
It's a shame.
Nick's analysis is so boringly one-dimensional. I think it is at tops two-dimensional and not always boring, Column Rock. At least his when he gets all impassioned, it's kind of, you're like, oh, okay. Anyone likes that though. You just get all like, pumped up. Anyone loves a sort of like emotive, elevated state of ranting. Sam Kinison. It's like Sam Kinnisonism. Tony does a good job. He gets all worked up. Everyone's like, yeah. He yelled. I'm like, yes. I got to do that more. I got to do that more. And I've had it. And we're letting this country slip away. My window's open. That's hilarious. Okay. So that happened.
That it crackles when you're just doing your most comfortable movements.
Well, I have to break it in here. I don't have time to break it in when I'm not on the show.
Is that regular leather?
I think this is kind of a funny idea, breaking the fourth wall between the writer and the performers, where the writers are sitting in, and there's this awkward moment where they write for Sam, and Sam says something that's clearly written by the other people in the room, and they just kind of let it hang, and they're like, this is it. I like that discomfort about this show.
This is Indian goat leather for real.
Okay.
We're doing an ad read, right? Yes. Let's start this ad read right with a little copyright-free stiff lips.
Alien Area 51 driver's license, but it didn't.
Oh.
It was like irregularly long, so it didn't fit in the card slot. So I had to make a special exception and put it where the money goes, in the wallet. So now I just have this extra card in my wallet that's like Area 51 alien. It's like I'm an alien. So the cop pulls me over and I say, here you go, officer. Because they're the last opponent. It sounds badass. Okay, I'm gonna give the devil his due here. We want war with China because they're a possible competitor.
Well, they just did the big, beautiful bill. That just got through Congress. They're cutting the corporate tax rate again, extending the corporate tax cut, and to pay for it, they're cutting Medicaid by $900 billion, which I think is like great politics, you know, taking away health care to pay. 1950s on was groomed by what was called the Congress for Cultural Freedom, which is a project of the CIA.
This is the KKK.
No, I know we're talking about serious stuff, so I tried to hold it in. So this was a while ago this happened, but you said the godfather of neoconservatism. And all I could think was like, the godfather, he's going, so you're telling me you don't support Israel? That's all I could think of, and my brain just like, shut up, don't say that.
No, please interject with humor. You're saying that every major
Yes, please.
conservative figure comes from this Congress of what?
Congress for Cultural Freedom.
Congress for Cultural Freedom.
So they're all, in a word, they're all being groomed. All of these like conservative intellectuals that are writing these books, people like William F. Buckley, and many of the anti-communists are all being groomed out of college by the CIA to be a conservative counterweight to left-wing communism in America.
Extangly at $2. We are over 37 trillion now, for your information. Yeah, the debt. It's just like you just like can't even fathom. I was gonna say the word unfathomable, but I can't say it. So I said it's hard to fathom.
Because the CIA is deeply worried about communism spreading in the United States and elsewhere. So Peter Thiel tracks with this pattern.
King Pilled is very high, very granular. But then again, I don't know Column Rock because I am too stupid to understand the intricacies of the things he's talking about many, many times. But if I were to just go with what it sounds like, Column Rock, I've commented on that before. Well, I'm like, well, he's like a strong handle on this sort of like multiplicity of things that I don't grasp. I can't.
And where
Fathomable.
Irving Kristol's one of them.
So back in the 60s or 70s or whatever, they would have been doing this to combat communism.
Right.
And then at some point, something goes wrong.
I wouldn't say it went wrong. It's more like the CIA was always in bed with Israeli intelligence. So under the aegis of fighting communism, what they're really doing is combating anti-Semitism at the exact same time. So these people are being groomed by the CIA, which happens to be an institution that's totally infiltrated by Israel.
When was the CIA infiltrated by Israel?
From the very start, from its very inception. And the reason being is because the CIA was formed out of wartime intelligence during World War II. Obviously, we needed intelligence about the Axis, the Nazis, the Italians. And so when the Allies...
Guys, this is stuff I already know. I mean, this is like... obviously.
invaded Italy, what was...
You invaded Italy?
Coming through Italy were a lot of Jewish refugees fleeing the Holocaust,
Oy.
fleeing the persecution by the Germans.
Oy.
And so how did the Allies get intelligence about the Germans? We talked to the Jews that were fleeing Germany. And so our entire intelligence network from Germany, and even from Russia for that matter, from Poland,
What if I'm CIA?
all these Jews that were fleeing these countries came from Jewish refugees, essentially. So when the CIA was founded, it was
Jay has been talking about this for over a decade. Yeah. Yep. And I've been listening, and none of it can stick in my brain for long enough to say it again. I can't do it. But yeah, you're right about that. You know, it's true.
it was basically
Like 15 years.
made up. All the human sources were Jewish refugees.
Your single lens should be pink. Totally. I like pink.
She's leaving Italy
I think pink is a male color. It's weird that people think it's not.
and then going to Israel. And then the next big step is that we are, of course, fighting the Soviet Union. When the Cold War starts in the 1950s, we have to know everything about the Soviet Union, but we know nothing because an iron curtain has descended. We have no sources that are on the inside. We have no idea what's going on. Convinced
Man, this is boring.
that working for the CIA or intelligence
Unfathomably boring.
is patriotic. I think that they're convinced that they're with the so-called good.
Jay is a writer. You think this is written for? That would be funny. Jay wrote this episode, and Nick Fuentes didn't. He just has to say all these things. How do we explain Neanderthals if evolution is false, or the tailbone we still have? What do you mean we have a tailbone? What are you talking about? Would you like to call in? Excuse me. We have a tailbone because there's necessarily the end of a spine that develops? I mean, when did you expect the spine to... Like, is there any place a spine would end its development and you wouldn't call it a tailbone? Like, let's say the spine, for some reason, stopped developing more near our stomach and not toward our anus. Would it still be a tailbone? How do you explain Neanderthals? Well, whatever you call the Neanderthals, if you're pointing to old humans, you're basically asking, how do you explain that there's old humans? And I'd be like, because humans exist now and humans exist in the past, and there has to be some point at which they started to exist. I mean, your question, I don't even understand your question, honestly. The tailbone thing is absurd, dude. The only reason you think there's a tailbone is because we are able to look into the development of a fetus, and one of the first things that develops in all vertebrates is their spine, which is a miracle in itself, by the way. Second of all, the fact that the spine ends and it has a certain shape, and you think the shape looks like a tail, that's literally what all you guys do. It's like, how could the spine develop into a spine but not trigger your associative visual to a tail? How could it not be the case? Well, it looks like a tail, Jimbob. It's obviously pointy. No, a tail is a functional thing. You're saying humans used to have tails, bro? It's just, dude, it's reaching levels of insanity where I'm honestly thinking if all of the public education is all of the textbooks are just rewritten Dr. Seuss books at this point.
Good guys, the good faction inside intelligence that is sort of ideologically aligned with us.
No, it wouldn't be a tailbone. So what makes something a tail is that you call it a tailbone, atheist?
To tell you the truth, a lot of them are marginal types from the beginning. Somebody like Peter Thiel.
Sorry, I'm a dumb. It's a question my friend popped on. No worries, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not. It's not a personal attack on you. It's just like this is the type of stuff people are saying. They're like, oh my gosh, there's a tailbone. So you're like, okay. So what you're saying is that when you look into the womb where there's a developing human being, and there's a spine that develops, it's like you're saying that's a tail. Ask them how did you determine that's a tail? A tail is a functional name. A tail. You're like, oh, it's a tailbone. Okay, because it's the end of the vertebrae spine. So that's the tailbone. Okay, so tailbone and tail have the same word. That means there was a tail.
What do you mean marginal?
So he's a gay man.
Yeah.
Gay people are typically marginal, or a lot of them are Jewish. Jewish people are marginal also.
When you say marginal, you mean?
Well, Jewish culture definitely pushes homosexuality from a young age. That's why all these people they say well, I thought it was gay. Because they push it. They push it on the kids. Well, you be whatever you want. I will still love you. Oi, 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 oi. Boys! Do what you want. Follow your passions. Mommy will forgive you. Oi! Don't tell your mother.
Not like...
Don't tell your mother I'd say that she killed me. My mommy runs the household. David James Flood, $5. Why does Shapiro think Fuentes is throwing shade on the bagels? Nick Fuentes is not a serious person. I mean, all the serious people that should be listened to are in the authorized media space. The Daily Wire. These are even some of the outfits that I disagree with on the left are better than Nick Fuentes. I mean, Nick Fuentes is despicable. I mean, him coming up onto all these platforms, people platforming this guy are also in on it. I'm telling you. Anyone who won't send their kids off to get blown up into smithereens for Israel is basically anti-American. They're anti-American and they're anti-evangelican. I mean, thank God for those dispensationalists. I mean, you gotta love them, folks. That's all, folks. The tail of the tailbone.
Core person type. They're like on the fringes.
I will absolutely die for your freedom. I will die for Israel's right to defend itself. And by right to defend itself has a right to your resources.
Absolutely.
Okay, so they're like an outsider. They're more willing to accept weird kind of ideas. Is that what you mean?
Well, weird ideas, and they might be able to be compromised in some ways, specifically like gay people. There's a huge vulnerability. I mean, there's a big reason Jeffrey Epstein trafficked in pedophilia. There's a big reason why a lot of these public figures, I don't think it's a coincidence, get outed for.
I'm sorry, you guys. I know some of this is interesting to some of you. It's just not my thing. I try. You know what I mean? Do commentary on this maybe. I'm not smart enough, okay? I'll just start with that. But I'm also, second to that, I'm not interested in things that I'm not smart enough to understand. And it's just I don't understand what what are we getting to? I'm trying to get to what we're getting to. Because, my life weekly is when is liturgy? Sorry. I was it's boring for people. I'm what kind of silly animation could I make? What kind of skits can I do with Tony? What can I make? I just can't. What is this? What is happening? This is some sort of. I'm sorry. I think these people are. I think Nick's. I have nothing really against him other than his theology. Really, his following is a bit weird, but he's not his following. But other than that, I'm just dude, hit the eject button. Get me out of here. This is good content by Nick. Yeah, if you're a Nick fan, I guess I could see that with the jacket and the. It's good for him to be on this show. But I mean, dude, it is not entertaining to me. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm silly. I need 7th, 8th, 10th grade humor. I'm not, you know what I mean? I can't watch it. Yeah, totally. I need a compilation for sure. I try, because I thought maybe they make it fun. Maybe they do a bit with him, maybe they cast him, Nick Fuentes needs to be cast in something out of context, like a skit, like a movie. That's what's missing. Do you guys see that that's what's missing here? The convergence of all things has happened except for like, if we're going to argue that politics has really sort of like whittled down to some type of WWE entertainment, we have to lean into it. And there's this element of politics and geopolitics where they're not leaning into the entertainment. So it's like, no, we got to talk about this and it's serious. And we got to talk about geopolitics and describe it correctly. And honestly, it's not even giving Sam Hyde much to work with. Because it's all just so serious. It's like, can't all of this be done in a funny way? Can it be done in a skit? Can it be done in a movie? Can we make stuff? That's what I want to make stuff. So, I'm sorry, you guys. I failed you. Jimbob fails to do commentary on something everyone could do commentary on.